Hi everyone, in today's video we're going to look at how you can fuel the final miles of your marathon. Now this is a really common issue that a lot of people face, in that they get towards the end of the marathon, maybe 20 miles onwards, and they really struggle to take on fuel, whether it be not wanting to drink, whether it be not wanting to take on gels or chews or bars, whatever they're choosing to use. It's really common that people have kind of had enough by this point. Now there are a few things around it, and I'm also going to give you some ideas of why it's so important, which might mean that in the heat of the moment you could just dial into that and go, look, I'm going to get it done, it'll be okay. I'm going to take on a little bit more fuel just to keep me going. Now, the main reason we want to do this is that it helps our mental side of things more than our body. Neurochemistry is going to rely on carbohydrates. So when we take on carbohydrates, when we're fatigued, in particular fatiguing, this stops that a little bit. Certainly, it slows that down. Hi everyone, in today's video we're going to look at how to fuel the final miles of your marathon. Now it's a really common problem to have, that people don't want to take on a lot of fuel towards the end. They're tired, their breathing is elevated, the muscles are knackered, but they feel really pants as well, and maybe having some stomach upset. So it's really tempting to skip that last gel, to not take on very much fluid in these last few miles. However, it becomes incredibly important for a number of factors. So the main reason that we want to take on fuel still is it helps our performance. It will mean that regardless of how rubbish we feel, we'll feel a little bit less rubbish during those final miles and even afterwards as well. So one of the main things is that our body and brain will work together in this. So if we take on some carbohydrate, this will send a signal to our brain. Our brain will taste that sweetness and go, we've got more fuel coming, we can keep going. Now, if we're looking at, say, 23 miles, which is where I see a lot of people start to struggle, or if they're going to struggle, that's when it happens. 23 miles in, you've got maybe 18 to 30 minutes of running more to go. If we improve your performance by 1%, you're going to save between 11 and 18 seconds. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot, but if you're looking at something like a Boston qualifying time, looking at a good for age category time, even if you're looking to break, say, 4 hours, as I've seen before for clients, before they've been with me, I should hasten to add, they've missed that margin by 5, 6, 7 seconds. It can be enough to get you through that next time barrier. The goal pace is then achieved because of it. If you're looking at this from 20 miles onwards, we're looking at big chunks of time and nearly a minute potentially of benefit in this. And that's if we only look at 1% improvement in performance. Now, that's one of the big parts of it. It can make you feel better, it can improve your performance, but it can really make a difference in those energy levels in recovery afterwards as well. Now, no, I'm not going to lie, I do get it. I really do. You don't want to drink necessarily much towards the end. You don't want to take on that final gel, but you can work on that. You don't have to take in a whole gel. You don't have to whip it in, as a lot of people tend to do. Just sip it. Just keep getting little bits in. Your brain is going to keep getting that sweetness, and your body is going to be still absorbing that fuel afterwards as well. If you're looking at drinks, just sip. Again, sip or even swill. There's really loads of studies on this where swill a bit of carbohydrate solution in your mouth, spit it out. You don't even necessarily have to swallow it, and that will still improve your performance and keep you feeling better during the latter stage of the marathon. If you're dehydrating, which is a common reason people can feel sick, again, the water is really important, whether that be just water on its own or a carb-based drink. One of the things, if you're coming into those final miles and you do not want to take on another drug, you physically can't stomach that kind of taste, that texture in your mouth, then go with some drink, water, or grab a sports drink. Even if you haven't used it before, it's one you haven't used in training, you're in the final mile, it's really unlikely to cause you much stomach upset in that period of time. Just make sure you don't gulp it down, because obviously you can get a stitch very easily. So just lots and lots of sipping as you go through. The other things you can do, so there are brands out there that make flavorless gels now. So what you could always do is have a flavorless gel towards the end. It's still a little bit sweet, but not that same kind of hit of flavor, so it can be a little bit more palatable. Avoid what they call flavor fatigue as well. In training, you can prepare for this by keep on fueling late in training. There are a lot of mistakes I see in training. I do go, oh, I don't need that final gel for the 20 mile I'm doing in my last training run. I'm at 17 miles, it's fine. No, you probably would be fine. However, we want to make sure that you can take on as many gels as possible in race day performance. So you would still ideally take on that final gel, even if you're not planning to on race day, or you end up not taking it on race day. Prep, have a go at it. Try sipping your gels in training rather than just gulping them down in one go. See if that makes it feel more comfortable, because it might make you feel more confident to do so on race day. Drinks, again, maybe experiment with different drink mixes, and taking on water late in the miles as well. Don't just stop as soon as you think it's not going to be in the body. We want to work with the mind as well. So there are loads of little tips and tricks like that, both in training and racing, that can help you perform. But really, you do please keep on wanting fueling during those last few miles. Do not just go, I've had enough. There may come a time and that might be the case, but do what you can to keep on just taking little bits of carbohydrate in, little bits of hydration, just to keep yourself through those final miles. It's tough, but it will absolutely pay dividends in either feeling better or performing better.